One game down, 8 still to go for Leeds United, and we're back here at Elland Road for the next fixture. Fulham provide the opposition, Leeds having lost the opening game away at Cardiff. So for the next few minutes we're going to talk about what happened last weekend, what's to come this weekend, and look ahead to the rest of the run-in as far as Leeds United are concerned. In the company, I'm delighted to say, of two former Leeds United players, Ben Parker and Tony Dorigo. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. Let's talk first about what happened last weekend. Defeat at Cardiff. Tony, you and I sat there and watched it together. What, in hindsight, do you feel was the major issue there?
I think certainly as we were watching the game, we were frustrated, I think, that our dominance didn't turn into goals. But when you break the game down, we didn't do too much wrong. Of course, when you make mistakes in dangerous areas, you're going to get punished. And we made two very poor mistakes and duly got punished. But we had opportunities. We looked fit and sharp, raring to go. We dominated possession. We dominated the corner count, everything that you wanted, except, of course, the main thing, which is the scoreline. But they'll be very disappointed.
What did you think, Ben?
What I thought was probably just echo what Tony was saying there, just in terms of you've dominated everything like you kind of expect us to dominate every stat you can think of. We're out on top, but the main stat is the one in the top kind of screen where it's the goals that change games, unfortunately. We just want this clinical in both boxes in my point of view. Yeah, you can talk about the couple of mistakes that led to their goals, but just in the final third, just a bit of rustiness, to be honest. We're getting to some decent positions, and whether the final ball or the bit of movement just wasn't right, but a lot of things to brush up on. There's some good things in there, but just a rusty performance overall. But I think we'll be miles better after getting that 90 minutes under the performance.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, Tony. I mean, the two errors that were made felt to me a little bit like almost pre-season game errors, the sort of thing where you go, I can get that out of my system now. But obviously, there's a whole different dynamic to these matches, isn't there?
There is no pre-season. This is it. They still are worth 3 points, so they're hugely important. And as Ben knows, as players, that crowd gives you that extra edge. It gets that adrenaline up to the right level. You get excited, not too much, and you have to control it. I think when you go out in front of no one, it's the other way around. And at times, you've got to really concentrate not to be sloppy. I think that's the best way I can put it. And I think at times, just once or twice, we were sloppy, but we got punished. There were they scored two very, very good goals, but I think we've now had that experience. I think you learn from it and you move on, and I'm sure they'll take that into the Fulham game.
Yeah, in terms of the way Leeds played, Ben, one of the features was lots of possession, as we've seen all the way through the season, got into good positions around the box. But maybe the issue, as we've seen perhaps before the season, was with the ball into the box. Would that be right? Yeah,
probably a good point, Bryn. The build-up were okay to a certain point, and like I mentioned, the final ball decision making, that's key. When we're played as best this season, the decision making's been spot on, and we just didn't quite get it right. The good thing I did like though, was especially like start of the second half, end of the first half, was getting bodies into the box. We're committing bodies forward. I think to some games this season, Bamford was isolated. Look, on Sunday, he didn't really have any service at all into him, but it's up to other players as well to kind of produce. But no, I think that just to get the game under the belt, like Tony said, like no pre-season's always difficult, and you can train as much as you want, you can do murder ball as much as you want. It can never ever replicate what you do out on a pitch, a competitive game. So look, we'll be miles better for it, and it's a big game side. There's no getting away from that. But it's an exciting game.
OK, well that takes us perfectly on to the next fixture against Fulham. Fulham's resumption began, as Leeds did, with a 2-0 defeat, normally at home at Craven Cottage, but against the side who are now right behind them, pushing them even closer in terms of the playoff places, as Fulham are the side who are pushing Leeds United and West Brom in the top two positions, which just puts so much on this fixture, doesn't it? I mean, it's massive, this game.
No, Bryn, I think it's bigger than that, to be honest. It's a fixture that we've all earmarked, haven't we? Let's be honest. We've circled that Fulham game at home as being key. And the players know that, we all know it. But I think just taking a step back from that, you've got to look that we started the resumption, 9 games to go and we're 7 points clear. Now, a game's been chalked off and we're still 7 points clear. We're in a better position. I know that sounds crazy, but realistically, we are in a better position. And what better is to play your immediate rival at home in the next game. So I think it's all set up absolutely lovely. But you're right, it's a really big, important game. We won't be going in there overconfident. I think we'll be going in there really determined to put last week right. But Fulham are going to come here and think, right, this is our chance. So yeah, I think it's set up absolutely perfectly. But they didn't have a great game last week against Brentford. Near the end, they kind of ran out a bit of gas. They were certainly beaten in all the stats I've seen. Normally they're very high on percentage. Brentford had more percentage, more shots on goal, etc. So, it wasn't a case for them, I think, of they were, unlucky. Where I think, we certainly can point to certain points. I'm not sure they can. So, they'll be looking forward to it. They'll be relishing it.
Well, Leeds already know a lot about Fulham this season, Ben, from the game at Craven Cottage. Leeds unlucky to lose that one by 2-1. But a real lesson learned in terms of, if they didn't know already, about the capabilities of the guy up front for Fulham there, wasn't there? Yeah,
he's a big player. And we spoke about Bryn, the games we've watched together this season. Mitrovic is probably the best player we've seen outside our group. So, look, we know he's a threat, he's a danger. And he's going to be a big point to kind of stop Mitrovic. You've got a big chance of winning on Saturday, but it's just not about him. They've got other threats from out wide. Anthony Knockout started on Saturday. He's got real quality on that left foot of his. Cavallero was on the bench. I probably expect him to start, but they've got quality throughout. But as we've always said, as the players have always said, Bryn, and Tony will echo it from his day as well, concentrate on yourselves. When you get yourself right, when you know you're the best team in the division, when you play to your capabilities, that's all the players and the manager will be focusing on. Get ourselves right, and if we turn up on Saturday and complete a 90-minute performance in all departments, be ruthless in all departments, we should come out on top. But should and doing it is a different kind of matter.
Normally in these conversations, Tony, we discuss home form and relative away form, and on that basis, Leeds' home form pretty good, only 3 defeats here at Elland Road. Fulham's away form, not bad, lots of draws, 8 draws, 6 wins, only 4 defeats. But does any of that count for anything? Does that conversation have any relevance currently, given that there's going to be nobody in the stadium, bar the crowdies, of course?
Well, there's a load of crowdies, but they're not making much movement. I can see them in the background there, but I think... unfortunately, it's more of a level playing field now, absolutely, because there's no doubt that I remember when I was playing for Chelsea and Villa, when coming to Elland Road, I knew I was playing against the crowd as well, because I always remember the atmosphere. So it does make a difference. That's not going to be there. So the Fulham boys will be going out there. They'll be knocking around that beautiful pitch thinking, I'm going to enjoy this. So I think it's a different mindset that they will have, absolutely. And which is why we've seen certainly the results have been strange, haven't they? Certainly in the Bundesliga and Championship, the Premier League, a lot more level. Yes, we're more used to our surroundings, but I think our advantage certainly is less.
One thing Fulham have to do though, Ben, surely, given that the gap is there, and after the weekend it's another game gone, surely they've got to come to Leeds to win the game, haven't they?
Well, hopefully they do that, the game plan to play the expansive football, because I feel and believe that'll play into our hands. You've seen as soon as Cardiff got that first goal, they dropped everybody behind the ball, just a big blue wall to trying to break down, and it's difficult, and we've kind of struggled at times of trying to break teams down when they sit so deep. So with Fulham, as Tony said on Saturday, albeit they was at home, but against a rival, they tried to play so open, so expansive. But no, the onus is on Fulham to get the 3 points. Look, can we play for a draw? It's not in our makeup. It's not in our nature to do that. We'll go out because we know to get the win ourselves and make that gap to 10 points. It'll be such a big boost, psychological boost more than anything. Sending another message out to the rest of the division. But no, it should make for an entertaining game from a neutral's point of view. 2 teams who try to play football in the right way. If Fulham come here trying and play expansive, hopefully they'll create more gaps in that final third and we can be a bit more clinical than we were on Sunday.
I mean, personally, it can be the dullest 1-0 home win ever witnessed. Who cares? But anyway, that's maybe my perspective on this one. Tony, is this one the must-win game for Leeds, or is this the must-not-lose game for Leeds?
Yeah, I think losing is a no. That has to be right at the forefront, because again, you chalk another game off and you've still got 6 or 7 point lead, depending obviously on what Brentford does. That is absolutely huge. But you know what? Forget the draw. My mindset says, this is a game for the players to go out there and grab it with both hands and take all 3 points. Absolutely. I think one of the big keys for Saturday's game was the first goal. I think it's really important that we get that, because as we saw, and as Ben just said at Cardiff, as soon as they got that goal, they then sat back and they kept it nice and tight, just tried to frustrate us. Even so, we had plenty of possession, couldn't find a way through. But I think if we score first, I think then we'll be okay. But as for an entertaining game, well, they need to come and win the game. And that doesn't mean all-out expansive football by Fulham. So don't expect them to come, and play high and keep it high and keep the spaces big. They'll come with a winning mentality, but that will be keep it tight and then get us on the break.
Do we dare look beyond with another game here at Elland Road to come against Luton next Tuesday? Is there any point even doing that at this stage, Ben?
Well, I'm sure that all the messages coming out from the players and the staff will be all the focus on side. I think it's for guys like us three to look towards the Luton game on Tuesday. But no, I don't think you can get too far ahead of yourself, because the big main important game, arguably the biggest game of the season, is on Saturday. So the full attention's got to be on that. But now we're going to be speaking about games at the weekend, followed by a midweek game all the way through to middle of July, leading to the Charlton game, last game of the season. So it's almost you kind of take these games in kind of little 2-3 blocks. So look, from a points perspective, out of the 2 games, I think 4 points you definitely take. You don't want anything less. 6 points obviously is a dream, but full focus. It's got to be. You can't take your eye off Fulham. You mentioned Mitrovic, some of the other players. They've got some dangerous players throughout the squad, throughout the team. So I'm sure the boys will be just fully focused on Saturday, and whatever happens Tuesday, we can take care of that. Come 5 o'clock on Saturday.
Yeah, do you have a feeling that by Wednesday morning, maybe, Tony, with 1/3 now of this mini-season having been completed, we'll have a far better sense of which way this might go?
We know which way it's going to go. Just calm down, Bryn. Everything's going to be okay. And stop getting me to talk about Wednesday, because as Ben said, the most important thing is the Saturday game. I don't want to hear about anything else. It is all about that Fulham game. Focus. You as well, Bryn. Come on.
I am fully focused on the game here on Saturday against Fulham. It's going to be a huge event, massive game. Join us on LUTV for the full focus on Leeds United's build-up and then all the action as well.